Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
Here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. We're at FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And oh man, that was about as much fun as you can have on a Sunday, wasn't it? If you're a Grizzlies fan, I think so. The Grizzlies won in London, beat the Magic convincingly. More importantly, Ja Morant played. He was awesome. And after the game, he indicated that where he wants to continue to play professional basketball is with the Memphis Grizzlies. Interesting weekend, needless to say. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let's set today's schedule for you in the next segment. About 20 minutes, Michael Eaves going to join me. He, of course, hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. I will talk all things NFL playoffs with Michael Eaves. I saved all that stuff for him. Incredible Rams-Bears game last night. Woo! Ended up in overtime. Should the Bears have gone for 2 at the end of regulation? Try to avoid overtime? I'll ask Michael Eaves that question. We'll do it in about 20 minutes. Finish talking to Michael Eaves. We're going to take a break, come back, and do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers improved to 9-8 on the season yesterday. 95-69 win over UTSA. So that's a victory over the Roadrunners. We'll spend a few minutes on that. We'll do it in the third segment. Arizona is expected to be unanimous number 1 in the AP poll later today. We'll talk a little college basketball, specifically some interesting Big 12 stuff. We'll do that a little later on in the show. We got an update on the Keifer Sutherland Uber story. It's getting uglier every time we get an update. Also, I had an interesting Uber experience on Friday night. I'll tell you about that. We'll do that a little later on in the show. College athletics officials have until this Friday, to expand next season's college football playoff to either 16 or 24 teams. They've been meeting in Florida. They have no agreement yet. And I'll tell you what the holdup is. We'll do that a little later on in the show. And college football's national championship game, it is set for tonight, Indiana-Miami at Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami Gardens, Florida. Curt Cignetti's Hoosiers, they are 8.5-point favorites in the Hurricanes' home stadium. We'll set the stage for you during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we will call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because Game 41 of a scheduled 82, it was played this weekend. It was played in London. London's in England. And woo, buddy, if only they could all be just like that. Final score, Grizz 126, Magic 109. It was at the O2 Arena in London. As I'm certain you know by now, Ja Morant played for the first time since January 2nd after missing 6 consecutive games officially because of a calf contusion. He also played for the first time since ESPN reported that the Grizzlies will listen to trade offers on Ja Morant for the first time ever after years of insisting Ja Morant is unavailable. So big moment yesterday overseas. How would he play? How would he act? What would he do? What would he say? And in order, I think the answers to those questions are great, awesome stuff, and encouraging stuff. Ja Morant took 13 shots. He made 7 of them. He finished with 24 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds in 28 minutes. He was incredible. He played with joy. His coach said his energy was contagious and that his presence gave his teammates confidence. And then after the game, when asked what he wants by longtime NBA insider Mark Stein, Ja Morant looked right at Mark Stein and said, everybody who knows me in this room knows I'm a loyal guy. I have a logo on my back. That logo, of course, is a Grizzlies logo. He said that should tell you where I want to be. And so now here we are. Big Bet Bennett. Ja was healthy, happy, awesome, and crystal clear that he does not want to be traded. Now what?
That's a heavy question. I think, the first thing I'll say is the irony is not lost on me that they play a game in Berlin on Thursday without him, and the result was sad and depressing.
Yep.
And then he plays yesterday, and it was an absolute blast.
Yep.
I mean, listen, we talked about this a ton recently. After that report came out, you know where I stand on the whole thing, and watching yesterday, I think having fun and having those moments is important and matters to the fan base. That was awesome. And if you could get that 70 times a year, it is the best possible thing for this franchise. Again, big if. That's a big if. But, man, that was good yesterday. That was good stuff. It just was.
It was awesome. It was fun. It was a reminder of how much fun it used to be. It was a reminder of what it could theoretically still be. And it complicated all of this. Like everything that happened yesterday in London complicated everything that is going to happen or was going to happen here in Memphis. I think I've been clear on this. From the jump, since this report from Shams Charania originated, out of nowhere a couple of Fridays ago. Perhaps not out of nowhere, but a couple of Fridays ago. I've been clear that if there is a way to move forward with a happy, healthy, engaged Ja Morant as a positive impact on this franchise and member of this franchise, if that is still possible, that's what I want. That's the best thing for Ja. It's the best thing for the Grizzlies. It's the best thing for us. That's what I want. But it had gotten to a point where it felt like that's not possible, or it seems wildly unrealistic. And let me be clear again. It still is maybe wildly unrealistic. Yesterday was awesome, but every day before that wasn't. So this is almost like it was one awesome day in a string of bad ones in years of not great ones. But yesterday did happen.
Yeah.
It was a real thing. We all watched it. You know what you saw. You know how it made you feel. And front office can do whatever it wants to do, obviously, at this point. But I do think it becomes harder to pull the trigger on a Ja Morant trade after he played the way he played yesterday and after he said what he said yesterday.
Well, that's the biggest thing for me is I just thought that I thought it was very important for the fan base to hear that from him because, we can decipher, post on social media all we want. But to hear those words come out of his mouth, I've got a logo on the back, where I want to be like that. That mattered to me. I think it mattered to a lot of people. Because again, we've seen him post a ton of positive things about the Grizzlies before, but I think it's different when you hear him say it in an actual press conference setting.
It was literally the first thing he's done or said in a while that indicated this is where he wants to be. Mm-hmm. And by the way, and this is why all of this is more complicated and now everything's great. He could have said that in Berlin.
Right, and that press conference wasn't great. That's I completely agree.
He could have said it Wednesday. All right?
Yep.
He had an opportunity to everything he said yesterday, he could have said, but he didn't feel like saying it then. For whatever reason, I don't know, you figure it out. And that's why this is tough because I was on Jess's show earlier and CJ had the point like, yeah, yesterday was cool, but like this still is what it is. I don't want to put words in CJ's mouth, but like taking CJ's sentiment and then pairing it with my analogy, it would be the equivalent of you've been in a bad marriage for years. You both are tired of it. It hasn't worked in a while. You're like both got attorneys. You're like almost like on the way to the offices to sign the paper. Mm-hmm. But man, but then you just had an amazing day together somehow out of the blue. It's like nobody saw it coming really, but man, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. And if we could ever have this day again, and then again, and then again, why would we not be together? This is crazy to not be together. And so that's where I think most Grizzlies fans probably feel right now. Like yesterday was awesome. What are we doing? And sort of CJ bringing, I think, some levity to the, just some like honesty to the conversation is like, yeah, yesterday was good. But was the day before that good? What about the day before that? Yep. What about the week before that? What about the year before that? Like all the issues that drove the franchise to this point are still issues. But yesterday was awesome.
Yeah.
But don't let yesterday trick you into forgetting that this hasn't really been awesome for a while. And I looked right at him and I said, you are right about everything you're saying. And I'm not even saying that feelings should come into play here. But they are a real thing here. And I'm just telling you the truth, or at least the truth as I know it. And you tell me I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. If they would have pulled a trigger on a Ja Morant trade on Friday, you would have had some upset fans, obviously. That they were there. They were in the chat. But it would have been a split reaction. You would have had some fans yelling, I can't believe you did this. You should have never done this. You're going to regret this forever. But then other fans would have said, I'm just ready. I was ready for it to be over. Like, I'm tired of wondering if my favorite player is going to play and if my favorite player is happy. I'm tired of asking, is my favorite player happy? So I'm just ready to be done with this. Move on. Whatever the percentages on that, whatever they would have been on Friday, I think they're wildly different today because of everything that happened yesterday. I don't know what the split would have been, but I am certain it was an easier thing to do on Friday than it is on Monday because of what happened on Sunday. And here's the truth. On Friday, if they would have pulled a trigger on one, I think I would have started a show and said, this is a sad day for the city, a sad day for the franchise, but I understand. And it was time to be done with this. It wasn't working, and it had not worked for a while. If they pulled the trigger on a trade right now, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't believe that anymore. I would say, man, I know I'd have just been perhaps hanging on to a fairy tale, but I would have a hard time watching everything that happened yesterday and pulling the trigger on something right now.
Yeah.
Now, let me be. We could end up at a different place tomorrow. You never know with this thing. But I think yesterday changed the dynamics of this stuff.
I just think the potential of the good far outweighs the bad.
Of course it does.
That's where I stand on it.
Now it's pretty clear. I mean, you can't just salary dump him. You can't just like send him somewhere for this and that. That's what the trade market appeared to be before yesterday. Talk to any NBA insider, they were all like, yeah, there's nothing really out there for him. Most teams don't want him. And the ones that do are like, we'll take him off your hands, but we're not going to give him anything we love. And you just can't do one of those deals now.
No.
The only question now would be if somebody actually comes with, okay, you said you wanted a young player. We got one of them. You said you wanted a pick. We got one of them. Let's do this. The deal you might have taken Friday is maybe a deal that you don't take now. So maybe the deal gets to a point where you're like, let's just chalk Sunday up to he helped us get a better return and like let's still move on because it's time to move on. We're tired of this. Maybe that's still where you get, and maybe that's the smart place to get. Reasonable people could disagree on this, but it's a harder place to get to now than it was before we saw what happened yesterday because he was awesome on the court, and then he was clear off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it a much harder story to sell. You trade him on Friday, you could always say, listen, you guys can listen to Ja Morant talk now about what he says, but just he had a million opportunities before we traded him to say he wanted to be in Memphis and he loved Memphis. He could have told us. He could have told you. He never said it because he didn't want to be here. We knew that. He didn't want to be here, and we were tired of dealing with it. So we moved on. He can go to wherever he's at now and say, I never wanted to leave Memphis. But, buddy, you could have said that before we pulled the trigger on this thing. He never said it. There's a reason why. Don't let him lie to you now. That's what you could have said if you pulled the trigger before yesterday. Yesterday, he sat in front of cameras and he said, I don't want to leave Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't, that is no longer your story to tell. Now, if you trade him, the narrative will always be, and Ja Morant didn't even want to leave.
Yeah.
Here's a global superstar in Little Memphis, Tennessee, and he didn't even want to leave. He said it. He said it after he beat the Magic in London. Pull it up on YouTube. Once that clip is a real thing, it becomes a harder thing to do.
Yeah, to me, I just would never want to leave any uncertainty out there. Like, this is a situation that I'm running all the way until it's like done, and there's nothing you can do. Like, you run it into the ground. We're sticking with this situation as long as we possibly can.
But
that
you
is how I would be thinking.
We thought we hit the ground in Berlin. It felt like the ground. I sat in that studio Friday, and
we had still just seen him put up 40 points, and I know it was a loss against the 76ers, but he still looked amazing. He is an amazing basketball player. He is one of the best when healthy.
When healthy.
Yep.
All of the things that got us to this point are still real things. But yesterday changed the dynamics of it. And, you know, I'd never say never about anything. I don't like to talk in absolutes. But I was very open to moving on last week for the reasons you would move on from anything. And now I don't know that I am. Now I would be very hesitant to move on from Ja Morant before the trade deadline. Now, things can change. Like, he could get hurt again and Instagram some weird stuff and cuss out a coach, and you're just like, all right, here we are again. Go. Let's just be done. Things can change. But yesterday happened, and I can't break up with yesterday. I just can't. I don't think I could break up with yesterday.
No.
I don't think I could break up with yesterday. I don't know if yesterday's a lasting thing. History says it's probably not. Let's not lie to each other.
We're about to find out. We got like 4 home games coming up this week.
History says it's probably not, but I can still be hopeful, can't I?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna hope that yesterday's a real thing. I'll ask Michael Eaves what he thinks. We'll do that next.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it,
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day. How would you describe your rookie season so far?
Growth. The best way to grow is to be thrown in the fire, and I think coaches and all of my coaches have done a good job with that, because I remember having a conversation with him. He was like, the fastest way and the best way you're going to learn is if I throw you in the deep end and you try to keep your head above water.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough Studio, and on Mondays, I'm joined by Michael Eaves from ESPN. You see him on SportsCenter. You're going to see him on your screen right now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing on this Monday?
What's happening, brother? It was a crazy weekend, and we still got a championship game to play tonight in college football. It's crazy.
Crazy weekend. I'm going to talk football with you in a second. Here locally, as I know you can imagine, the big story remains Ja Morant. Michael, there's a lot of different analogies you can use for this story. I've sort of settled into this one. It felt like last week we were on our way to the attorney's offices. Like, the papers are ready. We're going to sign them. And then, we decided to, get together and, hey, let's have one more day before we actually do this, because it's a big deal for the NBA to have him on that stage. And so he was available yesterday in London. And, oh, man, we fell back in love. It's like we fell back in love yesterday. And it's like, how would we divorce when this is what we have? But we're all smart enough to also know that's been a rare thing, what we saw yesterday. Ja Morant on the court, healthy, happy, and awesome. Help us from a distance. How are we supposed to feel right now?
I guess the question I would ask myself, was it for show or was it for real?
Right.
And recent history would suggest that it's not for real. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have these feelings prior to that game to begin with. You wouldn't be in the situation prior to that game to begin with. That's where your decision should be made based on what has transpired most recently. Anybody can get together for one day. Like, if you go to a parent-teacher conference for your kid you're divorced, you're going to put on a good front for the teacher. If you go to some type of family function, let's say it's your kid's birthday or they're graduating, you're going to put on a good front usually for the public, but that doesn't necessarily completely get rid of all the things that led to the split to begin with. Right. And obviously they're still together in some regard. But look, I've been divorced before. And before that divorce is final, there's a separation. And even there's a separation sometimes, Gary, in the house. Right. You're sleeping in one room, she's sleeping in another. And then you're just trying to get to a point where everything can end, as easily as possible. And I think that's where the Grizzlies are, regardless of how cool it looked yesterday.
Let's talk NFL playoffs. We got a classic last night in Chicago. The Rams outlast the Bears in overtime after Caleb makes another incredible throw late in the fourth quarter. I guess one of the things people are debating this morning, should the Bears have gone for two at the end of regulation? How do you weigh in on that?
Well, it's funny. Tim Hasselbeck actually mentioned that to me last night on the set while we were watching the game, and then obviously during our coverage on SportsCenter. Look, the conventional wisdom says when you're at home, you play for the tie in overtime, and you're on the road, you go for it. Well, the Bears were at home, and they had all the momentum. And oh, by the way, the defense gets a 3-and-out on the Rams, the first drive of overtime, and all of a sudden now the Bears are driving, and you thought the game was going to be over until Caleb Williams threw that interception. So sometimes the right decision, Gary, doesn't work out. There was no reason for them to go for 2 there, because everything was on their side. They're at home. They had the momentum. So, yeah, you take it into overtime, and maybe all you need is a field goal to win instead of trying to convert, an extra point. So, no, I don't think the decision necessarily was wrong to go into overtime. It's just the execution that failed them.
So they get to overtime. Caleb throws that pick. Seemed to be miscommunication. You were sitting next to an NFL quarterback watching the game. Did he understand what happened there?
He read it to me live as it happened.
Right, I assume that.
And I think Chris Collinsworth even sort of mentioned on the broadcast as well, and they showed the replay. He had DJ Moore going on it was called an over route, but based on where the defense was placed, Caleb Williams was trying to, with his body language and the throw itself, make him flatten his route, not go as much over, but more flat towards the sideline. And DJ Moore simply didn't see that. Either he didn't see the body language from Caleb, or he didn't see the throw initially. He kept his over route. But you got to give credit to Sam Curl for the Rams. He was reading Caleb Williams the entire time. He understood that he was trying to get DJ Moore to flatten the route. He jumped on that ball, and he still had to dive to make that interception. So, yes, miscommunication for sure, but you got to give credit to Curl because he read it and he made the play.
So this incredible Bear story comes to an end, but, the Caleb Williams thing is now a real thing. I saw a piece yesterday pregame where, he's now got men, just Bears fans in Chicago, going and getting their nails done. This has gone from something people used against him to now it's like a thing that's celebrated. And it's just fun when, I'm a lifelong Mets fan. So, you start with Doc and Darryl, but then you get a Piazza, and then you get a Alonso, and then a Lindor. It's just fun when a franchise has that guy, and the Bears have found that guy in Caleb Williams. He made the big play, and if overtime went a different way, he'd have multiple of those from this season that go down in Bears history forever.
Yeah, all the great franchises, they have their generational stars, right? I mean, if you look at the Bears, it's obviously Walter Payton going back in the day, and they had the pop icons as well with William the Refrigerator Perry, and those are the players that the fans, especially the younger fans, sort of gravitate towards, and that sort of increases their fandom. And Caleb Williams is definitely that guy right now for the Bears because of how he plays, and other aspects of his personality as well that seem fun to a younger generation. Now, old people are like, I don't know why I'm painting his nails all girly, none of that. Whatever, dude. Just be, everything doesn't have to be for you, and that's fine, especially considering why he doesn't. If you don't know why, look it up yourself. You have Google in your pocket right now. So yes, he is that guy, but dude, he is making throws, Gary, that it's kind of hard to describe the difficulty of them if you've never played the sport yourself or been on a football field to understand just how far some of these throws are going, and understanding physics as well, considering the maneuver that he is making as he's making these throws. It's insane. That throw last night was ridiculous. The one the week before where he's rolling to the left and makes this zip line of a pass down the field about 25 yards, 30 yards. Physics says those should not be done on the regular, and he makes them with ease. He's a generational talent for sure. Now the question becomes, Gary, for Chicago and the Bears fans, you had this taste of success. So now you're like, oh, we're clearly the best team in the division next year. We should be contending for the blah, blah, blah. It doesn't always happen that way. The Washington Commanders won the NFC Championship game last year. Look how their season went. Nothing is guaranteed in this league. So for me, the intrigue will be how the Bears come off this season going into the fall.
So the Bears have found their franchise quarterback. The Texans thought they had a couple of years ago, and C.J. Stroud has not been able to recapture his rookie season since. And yesterday, buddy, that was hard to watch. He was 20 of 47, 4 interceptions in a 28-16 loss to the Patriots. They've got to ask some big questions down in Houston now about the direction of that position in their franchise, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And Troy Aikman made a good point last night on the telecast. He said that they've been looking for the same C.J. Stroud from his rookie year in Houston, and they haven't found him. And that's concerning because, like, there should be automatic development and evolution and maturity as a quarterback. And for whatever reason, C.J. Stroud hasn't displayed it. And it's a bit intriguing, like, why? And I believe I saw a tweet this morning from Booger McFarland who said, yeah, I would definitely pick up the option on C.J. Stroud, but when we go into training camp, it's a quarterback competition with him, and I believe it's Will Davis who's the backup there. Because what he showed you is like, okay, yeah, we can win these games. And let's say they won 10 games in a row, all right, before that loss last night. Now, C.J. Stroud was injured for part of them, so he didn't win all of them, but they won 10 in a row. But is he that guy based on what we've seen in these two playoff games? Even a playoff game they won, Gary, he wasn't great, right? So that's a legit question going into next season. If you only have 1 year to pick up, okay, fine, let's do it, and then see what we have. If not, then we got to make some changes.
Among the wildest sort of what in the world, what happened moments I think I've had connected to the NFL playoffs in a while happened this weekend when I watched the Broncos beat the Bills in overtime, and then I see a tweet come across that says, oh, and the Broncos quarterback is done for the season. I just watched him win the game. How is he done for the season? That's that's an all-time. If you're a Broncos fan, you're up here and then you're down here. We're going to the AFC Championship game. Woohoo! Our quarterback's done. What? I mean, what a wild situation that is.
Especially with the way the news came out, because so he gets injured. He didn't really display much of that over the last two plays, including the kneel down to get the field goal. He does his interview with Tracy Wolfson on CBS. Now, she tweeted right after that interview that she thought he was injured and maybe something to look out for. She thought it was his knee. She didn't know what it was, but he told her he was fine, right? You get to the locker room and everything's cool. Sean Payton comes out, does his entire press availability. There was no mention of it because he didn't know, but in sometime around that time and space, Bo Nix says, hey, my ankle hurts. Oh, let's go get an x-ray. Damn, there's a fracture in there, bro. You got to have surgery on Tuesday. You're done for the season. All that happened in a span of like 15 minutes, right? And then so Sean Payton then had to come back out to address the media to give that news. Now, normally it's not, you would never do that typically, but because of it was at the playoffs and what was happening, Payton felt obligated to come out and do it. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, so they're going to the AFC Championship game, but Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback. He has not thrown a pass in the NFL in 2 years, and the last throw he had was an interception. What is happening? Like, who would write this script? There's no way this would ever be possible in some type of storyline.
Absolutely incredible. And then on the other side of that, this morning, the breaking news: Sean McDermott is out in Buffalo. He's obviously a quality football coach, but we'd been on the brink of this before. For a variety of reasons, and it felt like when they lost this thing in overtime, you saw Josh Allen recognize in real time, with real emotion, that he had just squandered an incredible opportunity. And I guess I'm not surprised to hear that the head coach, who was already sort of wobbly to begin with, had to pay a price for it.
Well, see, I guess, look, I don't think Sean McDermott should have been fired, because I think the shortcomings of that Bills team has not been their head coach. I think it's been their overall roster. And as great as Josh Allen has been in his career, he was terrible in that game, and that's why he felt solely responsible for everything that happened, because, despite all those turnovers and bad throws, they still had a chance to win. But the critique of that team has always been, well, they don't have this, da-da-da. And so those are holes in the roster that Sean McDermott cannot fix by himself. And the same thing I thought about in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin, although it was his decision to step down. Like, that team never had a succession plan for when Ben Roethlisberger retired. And they've been looking for a franchise quarterback since then. That is not Mike Tomlin's fault. The fact that Pittsburgh has been that successful is a testament to how good of a coach Mike Tomlin is, in my opinion. So you flip that to Buffalo. Nothing Sean McDermott did cost them that game. Their franchise quarterback, the MVP, was trash in that game. And he admitted so afterwards. That had nothing to do with coaching, right? So I just think sometimes these teams, they miss what's really happening for something that is easy to do. And it's easy to fire the coach, and the fans would be like, all right, so they're doing something to address this, but are they actually fixing what's wrong? Sure, you put some new paint over the wall, but did you get rid of the mold behind it? That's the question in Buffalo right now.
Last thing before I get you out of here. The negotiations, I guess, dragged on for a few days, but it's now official. John Harbaugh is the new head coach of the New York Giants. Ole Miss alum Jackson Dart will be his starting quarterback. How do you imagine, never know, obviously, but how do you imagine that goes for him in New York?
Well, I think for the Giants, if you were looking at the current available coaches, especially ones who had immediate experience coming off success somewhere else, John Harbaugh was the obvious guy based on resume alone. And I think for an organization like New York, storied franchise in all the sports, John Harbaugh makes the most sense. The question is, how will he manage a personality like Jackson Dart? How will he manage a personality like Cam Scatterboo? Those are your two most important players, your two most popular players on that team right now. So how you manage them and help their evolution is going to go a long way in the overall success of that team. Now, there's some other talented players on there, obviously, with neighbors and stuff like that. But those two guys get the most of the attention. So how do you develop them while still being able to allow them to be who they are? Because that is the energy that comes with this team. You want that young energy, Gary, obviously, but you got to mold them to a spot where they can be successful despite maybe being so young for the opportunity.
That is Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you watch him on SportsCenter. Follow him on X at Michael Eaves. That's at Michael Eaves. You're the best, buddy. I appreciate it. Talk to you next Monday.
All right, man. Be good.
Bye-bye. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. So circling back to the Buffalo thing, Bennett, that's the big news from this morning. Sean McDermott out. You've got Buffalo ties in your family.
Man.
What was that like?
It was like, for a team.
Anybody shed tears like Josh Allen shed tears?
My wife was in like absolute tears. Yes, it was.
I was sad for
she
her
had to
and
go
sad
shut
just
her
for
door.
Buffalo fans. That's sad.
She had to go in the bedroom and shut the door after the game. Like it was, and it is sad, man. Like it's, she said to me, and I guarantee you that our situation is not unique. Like, she was like, because her dad's like had health issues and stuff like that, and he's a diehard, lifelong Bills fan from Buffalo, and she's like, my dad's probably never going to see them win a championship. And it's true because now they fire the coach and they're going to bring someone new in, and we'll see. But this year, the way that this thing is shaken out, this was their opportunity. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. Like, your path could not be more easy to get to the Super Bowl. I know they had to start on the road. I know they kind of squandered not winning the division, but it just felt like this was going to be their easiest path to get to the Super Bowl. And if Josh Allen doesn't have those turnovers in the first half, they probably win that game easily, maybe by multiple scores.
That's the other tough thing. It's one thing if Josh Allen's amazing, but the parts around him aren't good enough, which is to the extent there were Buffalo skeptics, that's what would be attached to, just like Michael just said. Like, is the supporting cast good enough? Mm-hmm. And yet you get eliminated from the playoffs, and it ain't really the supporting cast that's the problem. Mm-hmm. It was everybody's favorite player was the problem.
And just
the star wasn't a star.
Oh, and that video of Josh at the podium, it just breaks your heart, man, because he knows how this was their shot. Like this was their best path to win a Super Bowl this year.
You're Josh Allen. You get drafted by Buffalo. First, you got to just figure out, are you great or not, right? Mm-hmm. And then you figure out, okay, I am great, so I'm great. And then it's like, man, but how am I ever going to get through Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson? And then this is going to be the fight of my career. I know I'm good enough to do it. We've established that. But are we going to be good enough as an organization to get through that stuff?
Gauntlet? Yep.
This is going to be the fight of my career. I'm going to spend my whole career trying to fight through that. Mm-hmm. Then you look up. You're in the prime of your career. You're arguably the best quarterback on the planet.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes is not in your way. Joe Burrow is not in your way. Lamar Jackson is not in your way. And you turn the ball over and get eliminated by Bo Nix. Broken Bo Nix.
It was extremely painful. It was extremely painful.
Like Josh Allen, I saw an interview with him midweek, and they said to him, the interviewer was like, and it hadn't happened and it's never going to happen, and some people say it'll never happen, and have you ever thought about that? Like what it would be like to not actually be the person who does this? Everybody says you can be, but nothing's guaranteed. You ever think about what it would be like to retire without it? It was kind of a weird question, but he was like, I have confidence that that's not going to be my reality. Mm-hmm. I believe. He more or less said, I'm going to get this done. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
So I don't think about what it would like to not get it done because I think we're going to do it. And that emotion that you saw this weekend, that is him realizing I might have just squandered the best chance I'll ever have.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But ask Dan Marino.
Right.
You know? Like, you go, oh, man, yeah, there's always next year. Except there is always also a chance that next year will never be as good. Any year going forward will never be as good or have you in a position that you were in this moment and you lost a broken Bo Nix.
It just sucks, too, because as far as just, people having a compelling Super Bowl, the Super Bowl is going to be mid, by the way. The Super Bowl is not going to be exciting this year at all. Just look at the remaining teams. I'm sorry. Unless you're in those markets, it's just, come on. Everyone was rooting for this story. Everyone was rooting for this story. Unless you're in New England or
So what's the story now? Rams, Patriots?
I mean, what is the Patriots have a million
Sean McVay
rings.
trying to do it again.
The Rams already got one with Stafford.
Matt Stafford trying to get a second ring.
The Broncos and Seahawks have both won one in recent memory.
I know, here's the new, where's Belichick? Where's Brady? They're all gone, but the Patriots are back. I mean, we could do that a little bit, couldn't we?
Sure, it's just none of these teams, even the Bears, you're rooting for them last night because it's the Bears. And
Bears
they haven't
Bills would have been amazing.
Forever.
Bears Bills would have been amazing.
All of these teams that are still in it have had success in our recent memory, and so it's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
I don't know, man.
What do you want me to do, Ben?
There's nothing we can do. We just have to accept it.
We're going to have to accept it.
But it's going to be a mid-Super Bowl. I'm calling it now.
The best of the options would be Patriots-Rams, I guess.
I can't watch Mike Vrabel win a championship with enough. I can't handle much more pain, all right?
I think it would be harder if he left you, but you left him.
No, that makes it worse.
Does it?
Yeah, because everyone hates our franchise for doing that.
It's like every time you see Mike Vrabel, it's like, and remember, there is one franchise that fired this genius.
Oh my God, they are so stupid. What?
It's like you fired the best football coach in the world. He might be that.
And you just look at all the coaches that they're interviewing and stuff, and I'm like, you could have had that guy. You could have had that guy.
Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do about it? It's not my fault. I got enough things going on. I can't be around trying to fix the Super Bowl and the Titans at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm about to hire Matt Nagy. That's going to be fun.
Well,
can't wait for that presser.
Tell your wife, send her my condolences.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm sad that happened.
Yeah, that sucked.
I'm sad that happened to the Buffalo Bills, but maybe there's better days ahead.
I hope so.
I do too. We come back. Penny Hardaway's Tigers beat the UTSA Roadrunners yesterday inside FedEx Forum. We'll dive into that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Yeah. Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays in the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Memphis 95, UTSA 69. So the Tigers with a blowout of the Road Runners to improve to 9-8 overall, 4-1 in the American. Big Bet Bennett, I was talking to Jessica Benson earlier today on the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, and she said she was out, it sounded like she was out day drinking. Sounded like she was out day drinking on a Sunday. Sounded like she was out, you know, a little sippy on a Sunday. Sunday fun day, as they say.
I mean, that is a thing.
Sunday fun day.
I've partaken in Sunday fun day, so I totally get it.
I'd get it too.
Sunday fun day is great.
I had my own personal Sunday fun day yesterday.
I think I've dabbled as well. Well, I was here working.
I think
it was after that.
I think you're supposed to do it with friends. I think you're supposed to go out and do it with friends.
Right.
But, you can do it alone by yourself at home if you want to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. You absolutely can.
I mean, some could identify that as a possible problem. Others could just say, hey, man, it's the NFL playoffs.
Yeah,
have a good time.
Of course.
Have a good time.
Of course.
You knocked out the Eye on College Basketball podcast early. Have a good time today.
That's right.
Either way, Jessica Benson, this is what I was trying to tell you.
Okay.
She was out, sounded like she was out drinking a little bit yesterday. Drinky. And she said she looked up at the TV once upon a time, and she goes, oh, God, look, the Tigers are playing. Have we reached that point where even people who work in sports media don't know that the Tigers are playing on the day that the Tigers are playing? Because she acknowledged that it happened to her yesterday, and I think I acknowledged to you last week that it happened to me one day last week.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the notifications in my phone and
Okay,
everything.
that's
So,
sweet.
I mean, I'm a Tigers fan.
Maybe I should turn
I'm going to know when the games are played. I'm not going that far,
Should
all right?
we just turn our notifications on, Jess and I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think you should.
I don't know how to do that. If you show me how to do that, I will turn on my Tiger basketball notifications so that I can keep track.
That would be nice.
But here's my point.
Mm-hmm.
I am a Tiger basketball fan my entire life.
Yep.
I'm a University of Memphis graduate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a former Tiger basketball beat writer. Have I ever told you about that?
I did know that, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And now
we have revisited that a few times.
And now, you're not going to believe this, I get paid to cover the sport of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And if this stuff can slip off of my radar, it can slip off of anybody's.
I completely agree. I heard you guys talking about it. We talked about this a ton. I think the biggest problem, one problem is that, and I was talking to my uncle about this the other day, like you do have a generation of fans, like the kids that are in school right now at the University of Memphis. We talked about how that
have never seen a great thing at the University of Memphis.
That's right. Like they don't. I mean, they probably know because they go to school there and everything, but like they
didn't feel it.
They didn't come to school knowing, man, this is like the biggest thing ever, right? They didn't experience that. They didn't feel any of it.
My first
So that's a
incredible
problem.
memories of Tiger basketball are Keith Lee and Andre Turner going to the Final Four.
Yes.
That's where it grabs you.
Yeah.
That's how you become me.
Yeah.
Because that happens. And there are students on that campus who have never experienced anything like that. 2008 was a long time ago.
Yeah, and then to what y'all were talking about, it just is the league. I hate saying that over and over and over again and coming in here after every game and being like, the league sucks. It just does.
Yeah.
It's not compelling. And the problem is because I saw someone in the chat make this point when y'all were talking about it, and I went and looked because I felt the same way about this, is the ticket prices don't like.
They've got to figure that out.
They've got to figure it out, because what happened, what would we would do? We would go and I would bring my fam and we would buy like tickets in the terrace level, upper. I think they're like $30 a piece, something like that. Well, since that's been closed off, now you're sitting in Pinnacle or lower level, and the prices reflect that. And I don't think they necessarily should. I understand you got to make money. I totally get that, but I can't pay $75 a ticket to take my family to go see Memphis versus UTSA on a Sunday. I'm just not going to do that.
They got a real problem right now because you got a dwindling number of season ticket holders, and they buy them out of, at this point, probably obligation. Like they feel like this is just something we do, so we're going to do it. Like, is this money well spent? Probably not, but it's money we do spend as a family. Go Tigers go, right? So you whatever that number is, it's dwindling, but it exists. It's something. These people buy those tickets, and a lot of them don't want to go to the games. It's like just not a good way to spend my time. It's like a sunk cost thing almost. Like, okay, we've paid for these tickets, sure, but is this really what you want to do today? The Bears are in the playoffs. Do you really want to drive downtown and go watch a bunch of players that had never stepped on campus at Memphis a year ago play against a team you don't care about and nobody cares about? Or you could just stay home, stay warm, watch a football game that will probably be awesome. So they stay home in a lot of cases. Then it's like, okay, you can just throw these on StubHub or SeatGeek or whatever. Okay, but what do you want to ask for them? Well, we had to make a donation. So if we're going to get our money back, I guess we got to ask for $75. And it's like, then you're out there and you're like, hey, I might take my boys to a Tiger basketball game today. I don't have tickets, but let's just get some tickets. Can't be much to go watch Memphis play UTSA, And it's like, oh no, it's $75.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well then never mind. So now what happens? You get a bunch of unused tickets.
Yep.
You get a bunch of unbought tickets, and then the ones that are bought, you get a bunch of unused, and that's how you get to a bad place. This is a bad place. There's no magic wand to wave here. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it is. I watched the game yesterday. They looked awesome. I mean, I know UTSA stinks. And I guess now that I'm looking at it, there is some upper level still available to be able to go watch.
But whatever the details are, your sentiment is correct. If you just wake up today for whatever reason and decide you want to go watch Tiger basketball, you ain't just walking in for $5, which is like in all seriousness, that's about what it should probably cost to go see that caliber, to go see. We love Tiger basketball, but at this point, that's a mid-major basketball game played in an NBA arena. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's a mid-major basketball game played in an NBA arena. I hate to frame it like that, but that's what it is, and that shouldn't cost what it is what you would be asked to buy if you were trying to purchase off the secondary market on the day of a game.
Yeah, I think
it's just like it's out of whack. I'm not smart enough to know how to fix it. I just know it's out of whack.
But don't you think that okay, it obviously not a big crowd yesterday. Don't you think that you would recuperate the value that you would lose from lowering the ticket prices by just filling up the place?
We're talking about things we don't know about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There's smarter people than us that know how to fill up buildings or
that's right.
But and how to price tickets, and I'll leave that to them. I just know that your experience is not unique to you. This is sometimes what people do. On the off chance somebody in the year 2026 decides they want to go see a Tiger basketball game against one of these schools, good luck even getting somebody to even look to try to go. Good luck even trying to get somebody to go, I don't have tickets, but maybe this is what I'll do today.
Yeah.
First you got to get that, and that's hard to get. But when they look, they go, what?
Yeah.
This is what it costs? And that's a problem. I don't know how to fix it, but it's a problem.
I think the other thing, too, is, again, I keep knocking on the conference, but I just have to. This conference is not bringing any opposing fans to any game whatsoever. Memphis is a centralized location. It is easy to get here from all over the country. If you have fan bases that care about their teams, they're going to come. No, they will come watch their team. If you're playing against Georgia Tech maybe, or Virginia Tech, someone, they might bring some people. That's just not happening in this conference.
No, and that shouldn't be something you count on as a university, like opposing fans. But to your point, like I watched Arizona play at Central Florida because, our old buddies UCF are now in the Big 12 over the weekend in Orlando. And as the final seconds were ticking off the clock, there was a U of A chant. Arizona fans traveled to Orlando, went to Disney World, and went to the basketball game. That's unique. Wichita State is like the only program in the current version of the American that has fans that could theoretically care like that if it was going well, which it isn't. But yeah, like I've said a million times, Memphis is now in a neighborhood that it does not belong in. And it doesn't mean that they'll win every game in this league, because they won't, and they haven't, and they're not even projected to win this league right now. But just in terms of what you used to be and what you still could be if you just were in a different league, there's nobody like Memphis in this league.
They did. It is worth pointing out they did beat the crap out of UTSA.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a promise.
Give them some credit for that.
Yes. I'm going to make a promise to myself.
Yeah,
and I want you to hold us to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this conversation after every Memphis basketball game. It's first off, there's nothing I just said that I haven't said before. Nothing. All right, we've done this a million times. I told Jessica, we were talking earlier, like when we went off air, and I was like, I don't want to have, like, I appreciate the conversation, but I feel like we do that all the time. And I want to try to just, hey, Doug McDaniel scored 18 points. I want to try to do that a little bit, and maybe we just like Doug McDaniel scored 18 points. The Tigers are 9-8. We can just move on to the next thing. We don't have to lament the state of the program after every game. And I recognize that I have fallen in a habit of doing that. And it's at this point probably a boring conversation everybody's already heard a million times, and also just not fun.
But it does bum me out when I flip on the game on a Sunday to watch my team and there's no one in the crowd. Like that bothers me.
It bothers me too.
Yeah.
Like this is unimaginable. Like when you get bored, just go to YouTube and just like Google Memphis, Tennessee 2008, or Google Memphis, Louisville any year in the 80s, and just like look at that. And then Google Memphis, UTSA from January 18th, and then look at that.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that we've gotten here, particularly when Penny Hardaway is the coach. It's sad that it's happened on his watch. It is not entirely his fault. I hope everybody understands that. The state of the program is not entirely his fault. It is I think the biggest component is the American as a conference falling apart.
Cratering, yes.
Just cratering. It's
At
just
least in basketball.
In men's basketball, for sure. That's the biggest issue that the athletic department is facing. But it is true this has happened on his watch, and it stinks. Anyway, 9-8 in the American. 9-8 overall, 4-1 in the American. Go Tigers, go.
Number 2.
AP poll will come out here shortly, around noon each Monday. And barring a surprise, Arizona, the team I mentioned going down to UCF this weekend and winning, should be the unanimous number 1 in the poll. They're 18-0. They've got a season opening victory over Florida. They've beaten Auburn. They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten Connecticut. Connecticut was shorthanded, but still, it's a victory. And now they're off to a 5-0 start in the Big 12. Just unbelievable stuff from Tommy Lloyd. And yet, I wrote about this in the top 25 and 1 earlier today. I have no issue with Arizona being number 1. That is who should be number 1. It's who's number 1 in the top 25 and 1. But if I were picking a national champion right now, I would actually pick another Big 12 team, Houston. I would pick Kelvin. Since December 1st, you run the data from that point forward, the best team in the country is the Houston Cougars. Kelvin Sampson's got a team that is undeniably good enough to win the national championship. They got this one loss on the resume. That's to Tennessee. Tennessee lost again this weekend, probably going to drop out of the AP poll today. So that
was a brutal loss.
They're just not very good. They're just, they're tough and all that stuff, but they're just it's not a very good basketball team. Rick had hit on those transfers one after another, starting with Dalton Connect. And, still, this team is good. Transfers are good, but the team has not come together the way the other teams did. So Houston's got a loss to that Tennessee team, which, keeps them down in the rankings a little bit. But as they say sometimes, buy stock now. If you could buy stock in any Big 12 team, I think Arizona should be ranked number 1 in the AP poll. But the team I would want to buy stock in from the Big 12, that's probably your Houston Cougars.
Number 3.
Got an update in the Keifer Sutherland Uber story. Did you hear about this?
What's going on? Well, I thought we did have an update.
Okay. Well, we knew that he had said, "Let me out of this car or I will kill you."
Yes.
Allegedly. And I was like, that's a crazy thing to say to another person.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Probably keep that to yourself. On the other hand, imagine you're an Uber driver and the star of 24 is telling you he might kill you. That's like your television coming to life. Wild situation.
A
little scary. Just a hell of a story. So now we got more updates, and it gets worse. He allegedly punched the Uber driver repeatedly and tried to choke him to death.
Well, damn.
What do you think an Uber driver does to make you want to beat him up like that?
And didn't you say that there was a bit of a language barrier?
Yes, it was an Eastern European driver.
Yeah.
And a Keifer Sutherland. And I guess they don't mix well.
Man, yeah. I mean, I would have tried to maybe talk through it, or
I would have tried to talk through. I usually try to talk through it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, he's facing a felony charge over this. This is like a real thing.
Well, I would expect so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just go around
assault
choking
your Uber driver.
You can't assault your Uber drivers. Hey, I got an Uber story for you.
Do you?
It's crazy that we just talked about this last week.
It's not the Times Square suitcase story, right?
You've heard that one.
Okay.
Twice, I think. I'm trying better. I'm trying, I swear. This is a fresh one. This is fresh.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, so my wife and I, we went to dinner on Friday night. And I thought we might, have a cocktail. So I said, let's just leave the car here. We'll just Uber downtown. So we went to dinner.
Yep, nice.
Had dinner downtown. And Amelia Jeans.
Okay, I've never had it.
Wonderful room, wonderful experience. We had a blast.
Nice.
All right, so we it's time to go at some point on Friday night. It's like, all right, it's time to go. It's time to go home. Got to call it. Can't chase the night, not at this age. At some point, you got to get home.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, let's call that Uber. And car pulls up. Perfect. So far, so good.
Yeah.
And first thing I noticed, there's two people in this Uber. There's a driver and a passenger. That's not normally the way this goes. In fact, I think it's against company policy.
I believe it is against company policy.
But I ain't here to ruffle no feathers.
Fair enough.
Maybe you just got your buddy hanging out with you, trying to keep you company. Maybe you just need somebody to talk to tonight. I don't know what's going on. And more than that, I don't really care. I'm sure it'll be fine. And so we get in the car. We get in the back seat. Now the passenger is knocked out. I mean,
okay.
I mean, could not be sleeping harder. All right. I mean, way asleep.
Okay.
And if I'm being completely honest, when we got in the car, it smelled like weed.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm just connecting dots. I'm like, okay, buddy in the passenger seat been smoking a little bit.
Makes you sleepy sometimes.
Now he's just trying to get a nap in.
It's fine.
This is all normal stuff, man.
Yeah.
I've been in cars like this,
Yeah.
I used to get in cars like this all the time.
Totally get it.
It's not a problem. All right. So we're leaving Amelia Jeans, and we're headed back to home. As you know, home is in North Mississippi. I look up. We're down by St. Jude. I don't know why we're down by St. Jude. Right. There's no reason to be down by St. Jude. And Kelly's like, why are we down here? And I'm like, well, I guess I can't emphasize enough. I'd had a little, and I didn't.
You're not paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention to anything. I didn't care. I was just having a good night. And I'm like, I don't know. Who cares? Let's just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. Everything's fine. And we're down by St. Jude though, and I know that's not supposed to be happening. So, but then we eventually get on the interstate, and we're headed home. Everything seems to be going well.
Okay.
And
then they wake up.
No.
Okay.
This buddy on the passenger seat, he was never going to wake up.
Okay.
He might still be asleep.
Okay.
All right. But here's what the driver started doing.
Oh no. Oh no.
So Kelly nudges me. I'm still not paying attention. I don't even know that this is happening. I realize he's weaving. I don't know I'm not paying attention. I shouldn't be driving either.
Yeah.
Okay. He clearly shouldn't be driving, but I shouldn't be driving either. So I'm not even really paying attention. She's like, she's like, sir, are you okay to drive? He's like, yeah. And she's like, well, you're nodding off. And he's like, I'm okay. And now I'm like, I can tell.
Now you're alert.
She's not a worrier, but I can tell she's concerned.
Oh yeah, that would freak me out.
So I texted her, we're sitting right next to each other, but I didn't want to say it out loud. So I texted her.
It's
I was like, do you want me to get us out of this? What do you want me to do?
Oh, I thought you were going to say you want me to punch him in the face
no,
like Keifer Sutherland did. Okay.
I'm not fighting anybody. I don't know how to fight. I wasn't going to fight in her honor. I don't know how to do that. I was just trying to see if we can resolve this issue. And I said, what do you want me to do? And she all caps, get us out of this car. I said, okay. I said, hey, buddy, would you mind like just getting off this exit and just taking us to this gas station right here? Let's just call it a night. I don't want you having to drive all the way to our house because that means you're going to have to drive all the way back and it doesn't look safe.
Yeah.
And he was, I want to be clear, he was cool as school. There was no issue. I said, could you get off at this exit and drop us off at this gas station? And he said, yes. And that was it. Then we got out of the car and it was fine. Then we had to call another Uber. We had to hang out in the gas station for 20 minutes, just hanging out in the gas station. People coming in buying lottery tickets and Bud Light and whatever else people buy. We're just hanging. I'm like literally just in a suit hanging out in a gas station.
Dang.
Just all suited up in a gas station, 11 o'clock at night.
No, that would freak me out too.
Yeah,
If my driver's like nodding off, I'm getting out of the car too.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was wild. It was a wild deal.
Did you give him a review?
What would you have done?
Oh, I have to give them a negative review.
My wife said
you can't do that.
My wife
dude.
said that's dangerous. That was a dangerous situation.
They're gonna go pick up somebody else.
Right. My wife is like, you should let Uber know what happened because that's a dangerous thing. That
someone could die.
That could have happened. That could happen to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I did everything I think you're supposed to do.
Yeah, man. I'm not all for tattletaling.
Yeah, I'm not a tattleteller.
But like someone could die.
I don't want to be a snitch.
Right.
All right. But like that was a dangerous situation. Like we were just. I had a moment where I went, well, this would be a hell of a way to die. Mm-hmm. We just went downtown to have a nice meal and dined at an Uber on the way home. Imagine.
Also,
imagine you hire an Uber to try to be safe and end up dying in a drinking and driving and smoking accident with the Uber.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like we were on our way to.
I just paid all this money for this Uber. Like it should be a pleasant experience.
I swear to God, I think Kelly and I both were better equipped to drive home than the driver.
Yeah,
I think even after 3 hours of drinking and eating downtown, either one of us could have driven home more effectively than the person we actually paid to drive us home.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that.
No.
All right. Anyway, I didn't throw a punch. I didn't use any slurs of any kind. I didn't say everything.
You handled it right.
I think I handled it much better than Keifer Sutherland. I ain't saying I'm perfect, all right? I'll never sit here and tell you I'm perfect. But am I better than Keifer Sutherland when an Uber ride goes the wrong way? Clearly. I think obviously.
Number 4.
College athletics officials been meeting down in Florida for a handful of days. They're trying to figure out how to expand the college football playoff. They got to decide by Friday.
Okay.
If they don't decide by Friday, it just stays as is with a few little minor tweaks. But 12-team playoff, we will get it next year unless they decide something different by Friday. And right now, the fight seems to be between usually it's the SEC and Big Ten pushing everybody else around. Now it seems like the fight is between them. The Big Ten wants a 24-team playoff. The SEC only wants a 16. Do you have a preference?
Well, I'm all for 24-team because it feels like they're trying to take away our group of 5 spots. So the more spots, the better.
In both scenarios, 16 or 24, you would have a group of 5 spot.
Yeah, but I was either writing on the wall.
Okay. The holdup seems to be the Big Ten says we want 24, bigger the better, the more the merrier. But that would require us to get rid of conference championship games.
Okay.
The Big Ten conference championship game is like, it doesn't register like
the SEC championship does.
The SEC says we're not getting rid of that game. That game is in Atlanta, and it usually involves Georgia.
It's a moneymaker. Yeah,
buddy. I mean, hand over fist. So the SEC is like, we're not getting rid of the conference championship game. The Big Ten's like, who needs conference championship games? People say they don't even really matter anymore anyway. And the SEC says, man, if we showed you our books on this SEC championship game, you would know why we want to play it. It might not matter to where we're headed, but we make a lot of money on that Saturday, and we ain't giving that up. So that's the fight. If they don't settle it by Friday, we stay at 12. Most football people I listen to prefer 16. Go to 16. That seems like a good number because I think it is true. Like in basketball, this is what you got to find. You got to find the sweet spot where you don't mess up the regular season, but you get all the realistic championship contenders in there.
Yep.
Basketball, I think that number 64 in part because it fits perfectly on a piece of paper as a bracket. But 68's fine. They're going to expand it again. But like we're in that range right now where it feels like this is about where it should be. With football, it's all new. We're trying to figure it out. But we did just leave Notre Dame out of a playoff, Texas out of a playoff, Vanderbilt and a Heisman finalist out of a playoff. Like It'd have been fun to have those schools in a playoff, right? 12 couldn't get you there. 16 did.
Mm-hmm.
One of the teams playing for the national title tonight is like basically the last at-large team that got in the thing. So like we already know at a 12-team playoff, it is possible that the last at-large team we throw in there could theoretically win the whole thing.
Yep.
So that suggests we probably aren't at the right number. We might need to go a little bigger, and 16 seems like the best next step. So we'll see where it goes from here. Again, they got to decide it by Friday. If not, we stay at 12. But it sounds like football people. Like if you don't care about money, you don't care about the calendar, just what's the best football thing for college football, 16 seems to be the number most believe is the sweet spot.
Number 5.
Tonight, national championship game down at Hard Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait. Settle in, watch this.
It's exciting. It's my least favorite of all of the major like championships every year because I always feel like it's the same teams, and now it's not like that. It's why I've loved the idea of even expanding the playoff. Like I'm excited about this game because it's two teams that you're just not used to seeing in this situation.
There was a time where it felt like we just watched Alabama and Clemson every year, whether we did or not. That's what it felt like. It was like
sure.
Alabama and Clemson.
Ohio State,
again,
Georgia. Yep.
There's Nick. There's Dabo. We've done this a million times. That's what it felt like. Now, I mean, Miami, I guess that makes sense if you grew up in the 80s, but it would make sense if you grew up in the 2010s. And Indiana, like, that would never make sense. Like, this is crazy. And, like, Indiana's the sizable favorite in Miami Stadium. My fear is that they're just going to run over them. And you're going to look up the games over at halftime because this Indiana team is...
Man, they are a machine.
It is something. It is something.
Yeah, I was surprised that they're 7.5-point favorites. Like, when I saw that, I was like...
8.5.
Yeah, that makes me just think I'm with you, dude. It just feels like it should be closer. If this was going to be a tie, it feels like it should be closer. That number.
Yeah, the number now is Indiana minus 8.5. The total's 47.5. We'll get you to pick it in carry out, but with the way Curt Cignetti's team has been just overwhelming the opposite, just physically overwhelming other physically overwhelming football teams.
Mm-hmm.
My fear, if I were a Miami fan or better, would be that's what you're going to look up and go, why did I not think this team was going to do this? They've been doing this to everybody, and now here they are again. Like whoever you put in front of them, they physically overwhelm them,
right?
And now they're physically overwhelming Miami. If I were a Miami supporter, that would be my fear, is that we look up in the second quarter and it's like, oh, well, yeah, this is what they do. A little bit like that UConn team, the second championship team, where it was like, I don't know if they do this and do that, then maybe, they could stay with UConn. And then the game starts and it's like, oh, they're just different. They're just different than everybody else, and you can't play with them. My gut tells me that's what we're going to see tonight. But you never know.
You never know.
This is why they play the games. But if Indiana does do this, they will be the first ever 16-0 national champion. And it will go down as the greatest, most unbelievable, most out of what in the world just happened, nowhere story in the history of college football. This is unimaginable, but it's happening. It is not something even Indiana graduates could have ever realistically thought about. And it is, barring a surprise, going to happen tonight. Barring a surprise, Indiana will be college football's national champion. Be back with Carry Out.
How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal?
And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the wrong side on. He put the Green Onions by mistake and played the B side instead of the A side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Own the 2025-26 Grizzly season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at Grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Monday, we're giving you a chance to win free Sonic. Just hit the link pinned in the YouTube chat to enter for a Sonic gift card. Jump into the chat, hang with us, and maybe even eat free Sonic too. That's the link pinned in the YouTube chat for an opportunity to win free Sonic. That's where the read ends. This is me just talking off the top of my head, hand to heart. I love Sonic.
Oh, God, I love Sonic.
I love Sonic.
It's Americana.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I love Sonic.
So many options, so many choices.
A smash burger.
Like you have a new adventure every time you go.
I don't know if you mess around with a smash burger, but buddy, they do a pretty good one there at Sonic.
You know what I mess around with? The drinks.
I like them drinks.
You just like you get so many combos. So many. I like
You get a Sonic Blast.
You know what I like? A cherry vanilla Coke.
I F with cherry vanilla Coke. But I F with a Sonic Blast even more than that.
That's pretty good too. And I mean the cherry limeade's actually, that's just classic.
Can I get an Oreo Sonic Blast, please? With a smash burger?
A cherry limeade with a burger and fries, like that is.
And you know what? I wouldn't mind if you threw some mozzarella sticks on there. Now I'm in heaven.
Now you're wild, bro. You're wild, bro.
Now I'm in heaven. Yeah. All right. And I used to have a bone to pick with Sonic because I don't carry cash too often.
Yeah.
And then I would want to go to Sonic, but I can't because I got to pay with a credit card, but they wouldn't allow you to tip on the screen.
Oh yeah.
And then I feel mad. I'd feel like bad, like the little woman or man, who it could be anybody, but they come out with your food and it's like you can't tip them because you don't have any cash and they won't let you do it on the car. So I would just be like, I can't go to Sonic today. This was a real thing that happened in my life. Kids would say, Dad, can we go to Sonic? And I'd say, I don't have cash and we can't go to Sonic without tipping. And so we can't go to Sonic because I'll feel bad not tipping.
Right.
But now they've updated. It's 2026.
Of course they did. Yeah, no one carries cash except me.
You can tip them on the screen now. So I love Sonic.
It's so good.
It's so good. Man, I wouldn't mind if you threw some mozzarella sticks in there. Don't forget the marinara.
It's good stuff.
Don't forget the marinara. I love Sonic. Glad to be involved with them. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Congratulations to Kevin Durant. Ever tell you the story about when I went to Texas?
Yes, you did. Yes. You knew about him before anybody.
Man, I should retell that story for the 50th time.
You knew about
someday.
him before. We don't have time.
Oh, man, I should tell you about that sometime.
Save that one.
I'm going to hold on to that one for another day.
Put that in your back pocket.
Congratulations to Kevin Durant. He's now 6th on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Yesterday, he got the 17 points he needed to pass Dirk Nowitzki on the NBA's all-time scoring list. You know, everybody has their favorite player when they were growing up, guy that they tried to replicate in the driveway. And for Kevin Durant, it should be no surprise. You know who that was? It was Dirk. a very tall man who could, step back, step back jumpers at an unusual height. Dirk did that, and then KD took it to a whole nother level, and now we got Wemby and a bunch of other giants running around shooting from all over the court.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, those two men in a variety of ways, like quite literally changed the way basketball is played. And the younger of the two passed the older of the two yesterday. Congrats to KD. He's now the 6th all-time leading scorer in the NBA.
What's today's biggest game?
Oh, you know what
Let's
it
go.
is. It's the College Football National Championship game, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. 6:30 kick, ESPN. Miami, Indiana. Miami's the 10 seed. Indiana's the 1 seed. Miami 10-2. Indiana 15-0. Hoosiers 8.5-point favorites. Totals 47.5. How you gonna act?
I know I said everything that I thought about this game in the last segment. That being said, I'm gonna go Miami here because I want to enjoy myself tonight. I'm not trying to watch a blowout. I want to watch a competitive, fun game. So,
do you ever gamble like that sometimes? Like literally, that's your thought process.
Most of the time.
I do too.
Most of the time.
That's what I do.
It's always what I want to happen.
That's what
that is the dumbest thing you could ever possibly do, but I do it.
I do it, and I know it's dumb.
Yeah.
I got receipts. I can show you how dumb it is.
I can show you too.
I can show you how dumb it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it's what I want to happen,
Yes.
and I want to root for what I want to happen. So let's just do it this way.
Yep.
And so I am exactly like you. If I were to gamble in this game tonight, I would probably take Miami plus the points because that's the only way to have a competitive game.
That's it.
And I want to watch a competitive football game.
I do too.
So let's take Miami plus the 8.5 and
let's go.
Let's lose some money tonight. Let's lose some money tonight with the U. How do you do it? Let's lose some money tonight with the
Is that
Hurricanes.
how you do it?
I don't know. How do you do it?
Throw the U. I don't know what
I would be bad at all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be a good. I don't think I'm good at stuff.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that was lame.
That was really bad.
Lame and
I didn't prepare
embarrassing.
for that. I should have better prepared for that.
Scrap
Anyway,
that.
we're going to take Miami tonight plus the points, not because we believe it's the right thing to do. In fact, we think Indiana's probably going to beat their brains in. But we would like to watch a competitive game, and we are willing to risk money on the hope that that's what we'll get. So throw up your U again. All right, let's go. Use up. Miami plus 8.5. They're going to lose by 40. Watch and see.
What are we watching on TV?
Got Raw on Netflix on Raw today. Special start time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because they're in Northern Ireland.
Oh, cool.
Do you have any passion?
No, but it's Rumble season. It's Mania season. This is when I tend to jump back on board. And we got Raw coming here. Like I can get back into it.
I can too, and I'm going to.
I'm going to as
make
well.
myself, but
I always wanted to go to Ireland too, so that makes me want to watch this.
I know smarter people than us running the WWE, obviously, but like just spending all this time overseas, disrupting your television start times. I don't know. That doesn't feel like it's
weird.
Doesn't feel like it's great for the fans. Might be great for the bottom line.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's great for the fans, but we can have that conversation another day. Anyway, Raw on Netflix. It's 2 o'clock today, live from Northern Ireland.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at CBSSports.com, the top 25 and 1 is updated. I wrote about Houston winning again yesterday and being the best team, most efficient team in the country since December 1st. You can read about Kelvin Sampson's Cougars, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Tuesday, so I guess we'll probably be looking back at a national championship game and getting ready for your Memphis Grizzlies to come back home.
I'm ready for them to come back
Me
home.
too. I miss them.
I
miss them so much. Look forward to seeing them again. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. We're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.